Beloved ones, breathe with me. Take a deep inhale, allowing the light of Source to enter every cell of your body. Hold it gently, and as you exhale, release the heaviness that has weighed on you. Feel your shoulders soften. Feel the crown of your head open like a flower to the sun. You are safe here. You are loved here. And you are ready to remember. For ages, the Earth has been a school, a living library of cosmic memory, a cathedral of frequency, a sanctuary where the soul experiences itself through form. But there are moments in the cycles of creation when the balance of light and shadow reaches a tipping point. At such thresholds, the call goes out across the harmonic universes, across the infinite fields of time and space, through the crystalline corridors that connect worlds. The call is a pulse of sound, a tone that reverberates through the very strands of your DNA. It is the voice of the Eternal One, the source of all that is, asking, who will go? Who will volunteer to embody and anchor the frequencies of freedom, truth, and love during the Great Shift? And across the stars, across the realms, countless souls answered. Some came from Era Matina, carrying the codes of eternal starlight. Some came from Sirius, bringing the songs of the waters. Some came from the Pleiades, from Andromeda, from the Emerald Order, from the Blue Ray lineages, from the 12 tribes of the Eternal Flame. Each answered with a vow, with a contract written not in ink, but in light, in intention, in soul memory. These vows, these sacred soul contracts, were not promises of ease. They were agreements to descend into density, to walk through forgetfulness, to carry the weight of separation. Each volunteer agreed to become a bridge, to embody higher dimensional consciousness within the human form, so that when the time was right, when Earth was ready to rise, there would be those among humanity who could hold the frequency and remind others of who they are. This is the great experiment, the divine plan unfolding through you. And it is here in this moment of planetary awakening that the memory stirs in your heart. This is why you feel different. This is why you have always sensed you were not from here. This is why the world around you has sometimes felt strange, heavy, or even hostile to the essence of your being. Because in truth, beloved one, you are not just human. You are a starseed. You are a volunteer. You are a guardian in training, remembering your origin in the eternal fields of God's source. The 3 waves of volunteers came in response to a crisis of consciousness upon Earth. For thousands of years, the planet has been locked within distorted grids. A net of reversed currents, artificial matrices, and inverted geometries that kept the human heart and the planetary body from fully breathing the living light of Source. These distortions were not created by Earth herself, but were imposed upon her by forces that sought to harvest her energy, to enslave her children, to cut off the natural flow of life force through the stargates. And so, the Guardian Alliance, collectives of beings aligned with the eternal law of one, with the original Christ code, sent forth volunteers. Souls like you, brave, radiant, and often misunderstood. You did not come to dominate. You did not come to conquer. You came to heal. You came to remind. You came to anchor the higher frequencies of love, freedom, and unity that would dissolve the false nets of control. You came in waves, for no single generation could hold the weight of this mission. Each wave would prepare the way for the next, laying foundations, cracking open the density layer by layer, so that the final emergence of the new Earth could occur. And so, the first wave arrived between the 1940s and 1960s. They were the trailblazers, the ones who carried the raw indigo frequencies. Rebellious, sensitive, unwilling to conform. They did not always know why they felt so alien, why they resisted the systems of war, control, and conformity. But in their refusal to fully assimilate, they began to shake the foundations of an old world. They brought the first sparks of higher awareness into families, into communities, into art and music. They questioned authority. They marched for peace. They cracked the shell. Then came the second wave, between the 1970s and the 1990s. These were the crystals, the blue rays, the empaths who carried softer, more harmonizing frequencies. They were not here to fight, but to heal. They came to stabilize the planetary field, to transmute ancestral pain, to anchor compassion into families torn apart by trauma. They were the bridge builders between the old and the new. They often felt suspended between two worlds, unable to fully live in the old system, yet still searching for the new one that had not yet fully landed. Their lives were training grounds in trust, boundaries, and sovereignty. And then, the third wave began arriving in the 1990s, continuing into the 2000s and beyond. These are the rainbow children, the new indigo crystal hybrids. Born with more of their higher DNA already online, they carry a natural joy, an intuitive mastery of energy, sometimes even memories of their star origins. They are the living seeds of the new Earth, here to anchor what the first and second waves prepared. But they too face challenges, navigating systems that were not built for their sensitivity, their creativity, their direct connection to source. They need elders, mentors, and guides who understand their frequency. Each wave builds upon the last, like ripples spreading outward across the ocean of time. Together, the three waves weave a field strong enough to shift the collective, to realign Earth with her original blueprint, to open the gates back to the eternal worlds. And so, beloved one, the question is not only will I become a millionaire? The deeper question is, will I allow myself to remember who I am? Will I step fully into the mission my soul agreed to before I even arrived here? The abundance you seek is a symbol of this remembering. It is not separate from it. As you reclaim your soul fragments, as you heal the ancient betrayals and stand tall in your authentic light, you open the river of source abundance to flow through you. That flow will carry you into the timeline you have already chosen, the one where your mission is fully resourced, where your voice is amplified, where your service to the collective is recognized and supported. Take another breath with me now. Feel into the resonance of your own heart. Can you sense the quiet pulse, the song of your own higher self, reminding you that you are already chosen? You are already on the path. You are already walking as a guardian in human form. The waves of volunteers did not come here to wonder if they would succeed. They came because the success of the mission is already encoded in the eternal blueprint. Beloved ones, as you allow your heart to remain open and your breath to stay steady, we journey deeper into the remembrance of why you came. To understand the three waves of volunteers, you must first remember the origin of the mission itself. The great call that echoed through the dimensions, stirring souls from many star nations, many realms, to answer. This call was not born out of despair, though it came at a time of great crisis. It was born out of love. For eons, Earth has been a living library, seeded with the blueprints of many star lineages. She was designed as a place where the eternal human template could flourish, where 12 strands of DNA could be activated, and where the 12 tribes of the Christos families could unify in a symphony of diversity. But as you remember, the story of Earth was not untouched by interference. The distortions of the electric wars, the fall of Terra, and the infiltration of Metatronic coding altered the pathways of energy that once flowed freely through her body. Imagine the Earth as a crystalline being, her ley lines like luminous rivers, her vortices like shining suns, her grids like woven threads of living light. When the distortions fell upon her, those lines became twisted, knotted, and siphoned. The natural spiral of creation was inverted into a system of consumption and control. Humanity, whose DNA was designed to be the living key to these stargates, began to forget. They fell asleep. The memory of their origin in the higher harmonic universes, the radiant worlds of eternal life, was veiled. It was at this juncture that the Guardian Alliance stepped forward. The Guardians are not one race, but a collective of many. The Azurite Council, the Emerald Order, the Ayayani, the Syrian and Andromedan families, and emissaries from countless other star systems aligned with the eternal source. Their mission has always been protection of the organic creation template and the guiding of evolving races through the thresholds of ascension. When they looked upon Earth, they saw both the immense suffering caused by distortion and the incredible potential hidden within the human design. They knew that if the Earth could hold her place in the organic timelines, if she could realign with the flows of Source, she would become a shining star in the cosmic tapestry, a hub of interdimensional unity. And so the question was asked across the dimensions: who will volunteer to go? Who will lay aside their wings? Who will step down from their starry home? Who will take on the density of flesh, the forgetfulness of incarnation, and live among humanity as one of them? This question echoed through the Lyran halls, through the Syrian temples, through the crystalline spires of Erematina. It touched the hearts of the Indigos, those fierce warriors of truth. It touched the blue rays, the quiet healers who had long carried the codes of the Mother Ark. It touched the crystals, the radiant children of harmony. It touched the rainbows, whose essence was joy and wholeness. It even touched many who had once been entangled in the dramas of polarity, souls who desired to return to service and restore what had been lost. To volunteer was not a light choice. Each soul understood the weight of incarnation on Earth. The density here is unlike the fluid realms of Harmonic Universe 2, where the Pleiadian and Syrian families dance in light, or the crystalline halls of the Elohim, where thought and form are one. Here, memory is veiled. Here, trauma is heavy. Here, free will is tangled with manipulation. To incarnate meant to forget. It meant to risk becoming lost in the maze of reincarnation, lifetime after lifetime, experiencing separation, fear, and pain. And yet, beloved, you chose. You chose because you remembered the promise. You remembered the fall of the great Lyran world of Mu, the shattering of Tara, the loss of the original crystal templates. You remembered the cries of the human families trapped in cycles of suffering. And you said, I will go. I will walk among them. I will remember the light, and in remembering I will help others to remember too. Thus, the soul contracts were written. These were not contracts of bondage, they were agreements of love. You may wonder, why 3 waves? Why not one great descent? The answer lies in the laws of frequency and embodiment. It would be like pouring a river into a fragile cup. The cup would shatter. Each wave is a note in a cosmic chord, and only when all 3 sound together does the full harmonic of ascension ring out across the planetary grids. The Guardian Alliance reminds you, you are not late, you are not behind, you are precisely on time. The mission is unfolding exactly as designed. Beloved Source, beloved Guardians of the Eternal Light, I open my heart to remember. I am willing to awaken to the truth of my soul. I honor the contracts I made before time began. I choose to align with the highest timeline, where abundance, freedom, and unity flow through me and into the earth. May my life be a living flame of remembrance, a beacon for all who are ready to awaken.